You were inside in the Westbury Hotel to protest Gabriel Makhlouf, Governor of the Central Bank, and his appalling role in overseeing the regulation of Israeli genocide bonds right across EU markets. Can you tell us about your experience?
Yeah, it was a peaceful protest to protest against the Central Bank regulating Israel bonds. The Central Bank is the linchpin of it for the sale of Israel bonds in Europe. They're funding genocide in Gaza.
Absolutely. We know about the campaign. Tell us about what happened to you today.
We were peacefully protesting. Some of us had just a simple sign saying stop funding genocide. Central Bank, stop funding genocide. The hotel staff first of all barred us from going into the hall. Then a number of Gardaí came. Then and were a little bit rough. One of them actually stamped on my foot, but I think it was probably an accident. Then a huge number of other guards and the public order crowd came, Gardaí came. They were very, very aggressive. They were absolutely screaming in our face. They pushed a couple of my comrades beside me very, very aggressively. They just screamed in our faces. They pushed us and we just tried to hold our ground to say we were peacefully protesting. They weren't interested to hear that it was a peaceful protest. They pushed people down the stairs. I told them to stop pushing and shoving, that they were endangering people, and they were. And one of my comrades was on the ground outside. It was an absolute overreaction, but it shows, and this is really important, I think, it shows where the guards are putting their attention. They're defending the central bank. Now, is that coming from the government? The government actually needs to tell the central bank to stop funding genocide instead of attacking protesters who are asking the central bank, demanding that the central bank stop funding genocide.
Absolutely. And the government have been doing absolutely nothing since they were elected. They've gone quiet. We know why. The Trump administration is the context of this. But meanwhile, they are cracking down on peaceful protesters with enormous, brutal force, dragging people downstairs, bouncing people of all different demographics off. Yeah,
but I mean, the government are disgraceful because they should be insisting that the central bank immediately stop funding genocide through the facilitation of Israel bonds. And the government are behind the central bank, and the central bank is hiding behind the government. But both of them have a responsibility to act now.
Absolutely. So Gabriel Makhlouf, Governor of the Central Bank, he says that his hands are tied, refuses to take action, hides behind EU regulatory gobbledygook. There is a basis for him taking action in EU regulations. He won't do it. Meanwhile, Pascal Donoghue has asked him Dáil Éireann, and he says that he isn't going to impose any legislation.
Yeah, but it's just lies and obfuscation and just absolute damn lies, to be quite honest. The central bank has a responsibility to prohibit genocide, so they should not be funding genocide. It's absolutely as simple as that. The rule about genocide is an international norm. The Genocide Convention exists, the Genocide Act of 1973. That is more important than anything else. And in addition, the EU prospectus demands that the prospectus that's submitted to the central bank be complete, and the Israel bonds one is not complete because it does not contain information on the January ruling of the
ICJ ruling, nor about the Israeli state instrumentalising its slaughter in order to sell field-tested weapons.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. So it's very clear what we should be doing. The government don't see it that way, and the guards, presumably acting under orders from the government, don't see it that way either.
Yeah, I mean, this is a campaign that we will not lose. We cannot afford to lose it. This country cannot fund genocide.